beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond and I live a whole food, plant exclusive, SOS-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And today we're going to make potato zucchini soup. So I have had the luxury and the privilege and the honor to have stayed at True North Health Center. And it's a water fasting clinic, or health center, I should say. And it's based in Northern California, in Santa Rosa, California. And I did a water fast. It was a 14-day water and juice mix fast. And since then, I like to do them sometimes at home. Intermittent fasting, which means whenever I finish dinner for the night, then I don't eat again for anywhere from 10 to 16 hours. But actually what I do is I just eat when I'm hungry the next day. And sometimes it is 7 in the morning, but other times it's not till 11 or noon. So, and then on occasion, I also water fast at home. I don't recommend that. I think it's most important that you are medically supervised, and but you know, I'm just sharing what I do. At any rate, it's really nice to have something soothing after a water fast, or in cold weather, or if you're not feeling well. And I saw this recipe on a Chef AJ episode with Chef Bravos, who's a chef at True North, who makes amazing food. And I thought, you know, I'm going to show you my version of it and how I cook it. And we could just talk about it and see if it's something you'd like to try. It's super simple. So we're going to start out with zucchini. And I have 3 zucchini that I already washed. And what I want to do is just cut off the ends of the zucchini, because I'm not going to include that in the soup. And if you don't want to cut the little button part at the back, you know, you don't have to. I'm just going to cut a tiny bit of it off. And I can put these things, since these are organic, I'll put this in my scrap bag to make broth in the future. But the reason why I want to do that first is because I have a scale here and I want to see how much these 3 weigh. So I have it zeroed out and I have it on pounds. It doesn't matter what you have it on. You could do it on grams or ounces, whatever you have. But the idea is to match the amount of zucchini with that same weight of potatoes. And so I'm at 1 pound, 0.364. And it doesn't have to be exact, but that gives me an idea. And you know, I just happen to have 2 of these potatoes. So I'm going to put those on, and that's not enough. And then I have this bag of organic Sunrise Medley bite-sized potatoes, and they're all the different colors. There's the white ones, there's these red ones, and then there's even some purple I'll grab and show you. But for this, I want the color to be light and vibrant like the green. So I washed a handful of these, and I'm just going to add these. You can use any potatoes you want. Okay, so we're getting close here. And this, okay, that's pretty good, 1.369. So I'm going to put this back and use this at a later time. And now I have equal amount of potato weight to equal amount of zucchini. You could do this with 2 zucchini. You could do this with 4 zucchini. It doesn't matter as long as you have enough of the potatoes as well. So let me put this aside. And the next thing that I'm going to do is, I had already washed these potatoes, so you're going to want to wash them. And, you know, I noticed I've had these for a little bit. They're starting to, you know, get a little eye on it, they call it. If you aren't happy with that, don't use it. I'm fine with it. I just, you know, cut a little piece off, and the potato is fine. So for me, I'll do that. I'm just going to cut this. Okay, now I also am going to use the skin. When Chef Bravos shared it, and I'll link their video in my description, he likes to take the skin off. mostly for presentation because he wants it to be a pretty color. I want the nutrients. So for me, I've got a light, thin skin. You can use a Yukon Gold. You can use a red potato. You can use any kind of potato you want, but just know whatever type of skin it is, it will darken the color if it's a thicker or darker colored skin. And if that's what you have and you don't want that, you could just peel the skin off. So the idea, before I do the potatoes, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the zucchini up. And the reason why I decided to change that up is because the potatoes can brown easily, more easily, get oxidized and discolored, whereas the zucchini will hold a little bit longer. And so the idea for this is we're gonna cut it into, I'm gonna actually cut it down the middle, and then I'm just gonna cut it in kind of these bigger chunks. And whatever size chunks you decide to use, you wanna make sure that the potato chunks that you cut are a similar size. And I see I just cut these down, so that'll be good. Sometimes I cut them into quarters. This time we'll do it in halves. Okay, so there we go. This is our zucchini, and I'm just gonna leave it sitting here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut these potatoes in a similar size. It doesn't have to be the same shape. I just want it, you know, about the same size. And the reason that we want that is for cooking purposes. If you have something that's really thicker or, you know, tinier, that will cook faster than if you have everything the same size or as close to it as you can, right? So I'm just gonna try to cut these and see how it goes. So let's see. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, I guess the zucchini in this case is slightly larger, but I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna just finish cutting up the rest of these potatoes the same way, a little on the larger side, and then we'll be ready to go. Some people, I've heard, have tried to make this in the Instant Pot, and I'm sure you can. I've never tried to make it in the Instant Pot, but if you were gonna make it in the Instant Pot, I have heard that 8 minutes is a good amount of time. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently, and I'm gonna do it on the stovetop. Let me rinse my knife. Okay, so I'm gonna grab our pot here, and let me just get my little scooper sweeper. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in the potatoes first. Adding in all the potatoes. And then I'm going to, let's see, show you there, hold on. And for now, I'm gonna keep the zucchini on the side. Now, when I first learned about this, Chef Bravos puts them in together, and that's fine too. But I found that when I make this, I like to cook the potatoes maybe just 5 minutes ahead of time until they're just starting to cook up a little bit. Because for me, the zucchini, you know, I don't want it to become so soggy. So I do it that way, and that's what we're gonna do today. So this is water that I got out of my Berkey, and I'm just going to add it in here, and I wanna put enough water in here that it just covers the top of the potatoes. You know, maybe about, I don't know, what is this, 1.5 inches higher than the potatoes. And that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the fire and start this to cook. I currently have it on high because I want to get the water hot and, you know, get it to a boiling point. And then I'll turn it down and I'll just keep checking it. And Once I feel like they're starting to get a little soft, just giving them a little bit of a heads up, then I'm gonna go ahead and add all the zucchini and just cook it until the zucchini is done. This really is a super simple soup. In the original recipe, that's it, you know, and we'll blend it together. But, you know, if you're looking for something with like more flavor, what could you add? You could definitely add some sauteed or just lightly translucent onions. You could do mushrooms. I mean, you could make this into something else, but I really just like the simple soup. And you could even put garlic in, but I'm just gonna go with the simple soup. So I'll be back to check on that in a few. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. Let's take a look at the potatoes again. They're looking good. I'm gonna show you. And let's see how, yeah, so they're soft enough that I can poke my fork all the way through and they're not totally cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead at this point and add the zucchini gently because the water's hot and I don't wanna splash myself. And like I said, if you wanted to just put it all in at once and just cook it until the potatoes are cooked, you know, you could do that too. And that would simplify it even more. So one thing about this is you should notice that it's sticking up a little bit above the water, and that's good. I could have even gone a little bit less water. The idea is not to have too much water because we're not going to drain it. We're going to use this water to create the soup in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on and cook it just until the potatoes and the zucchini are cooked, and then we'll be back again. Okay, so it's been a little bit and I want to check and make sure everything is cooked. So let me bring that over here. We could do it together. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my stovetop off. Whoa. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Wow. So you can see that it looks like the water may have gone down just a hair. I want to go ahead and take out a piece of zucchini and taste it, as well as a piece of the potato, and just make sure that everything is cooked. Whoa, there we go. So let me just let this cool off. But you know, it looks cooked, and what's nice is that it's still holding its shape. We're gonna blend it, so it doesn't really matter if it holds its shape, but that's kind of what I'm looking for because I can still pick it up and all of that. Let's see. I'll just do this. Hot. Good, yummy. Love it. Okay, wow. Potatoes to me are so soothing and filling and just so good for us. So let's try the zucchini. Oh yeah. That's ready too. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use an emulsifying blender, a hand stick blender, but if you didn't have one, you could also do this in any kind of high-powered blender or anything, any other. I've never tried it in like a regular blender, but you could try it. The only thing I would tell you is that maybe let it cool down a little bit, because when you mix it in a blender, you have to transfer it. And I have done that before because I didn't always own a stick blender. And how I did that was I would just take my container and a ladle and literally, you know, just scoop it in here. And you never want, especially if it's hot, you never want to go too high, because once you do the speed a little bit, the heat can, you know, pop the lid off and do all kinds of crazy things, and you don't want to get burned. Also, I would do it on a very, very low power. But today we're going to try it different. And this is actually a new gadget for me. I got it for the holidays from my husband, and so I washed the base of it, and we're gonna do it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. It's automatically on speed 1. I say do everything on a low speed because, especially with it being hot, you don't want any accidents, any splashing or anything like that. Now, if you wanted it a little chunkier, then, you know, stop the blending a little bit earlier. But I really like a creamy texture, and this one seems like there's still a little bit more water than past times that I've used. But I also remember that over time, it thickens up. So tomorrow, this might be, you know, really kind of a thick soup that you just heat up, and very nice. This seems to be going really well. Just gonna mix it up just a little bit more. I still see some goodies in there. And I also have this on a very low speed, like I said. It might go a little faster if it was on a higher speed, but today, not gonna chance it with it being so hot. And this is heavy, this one. This is a Vitamix, and I'll link it in the description in case you're looking at one. I have also used a, I think it's Cuisinart makes one, but it's a little different because the Cuisinart has one blade in the bottom and it's very, very light, but it still works well, whereas this one, I should have showed you before, has 2 blades and it is heavy, so you get a good workout. So I'm gonna just go a little bit more. There you go, that looks great. So I kind of just want to show you that this looks pretty watery. So maybe next time I would do actually a little bit less water, because I personally like it a little bit thicker, but I also anticipate that it will thicken up like I had said. So the last thing I want to do is I'm going to move this off of our main area here, and I'm going to pull over some cilantro. Now, I know some people don't like cilantro, and that's fine. You can use anything else that you want. You can use parsley. I just think it's nice to add a little greenery to it. You can use nothing. You don't have to use anything at all. That's fine. So I'm just going to put in a little bit. And you know, frankly, you could have put a little bit of this in at the last 5 minutes that it cooked, or even add it now. I'm just going to go ahead and chop a little bit for garnish. But there's nothing wrong with putting the whole thing in. And if I did, I would use the stem. But for garnish, I'm just gonna, you know, take a couple of these leaves off. You could always peel them off with your finger, and you could always use the herb scissors that I've showed before. That is really nice too. But I don't have too much here, so I'm gonna just go ahead, and I'm not gonna discard this. I will use this. So I will either use it in a smoothie, I will use it in soups, I will put it in my veggie broth scraps, I'll put it in a salad raw. There's tons of ways to use it, and there's lots of vitamins in it. Just because it doesn't look aesthetically, you know, pretty for a garnish, I'm gonna put it aside for now. So, and I'm just gonna chop this up just a little bit. There, that's it. So now I'm gonna grab a cup. You could do a bowl. I'm gonna do a pretty cup, and I'm gonna put the soup in here. So I am gonna need, after all, I am gonna need the ladle. Wow, the color is so magnificent. It's just so pretty. Wait till you see this. Beautiful color, even with the skin of the potato. Nice. There we go. All right, so here it is. And this is how the basic way to do it. You could just have it just like this. But if you want, you can also, I think I'm gonna just take a little lemon and I'm gonna squeeze a little fresh lemon and put my little garnish. And there you go. Soup to heal, simple and delicious. Yes, of course I'm gonna taste it. I'm so hungry. So let me just get a little bit of this. Oh my gosh, that's really good. I didn't mix the lemon in, so it was quite lemony, which you could do. I really like the citrus, kind of levels it up a little bit, even though I didn't put any other spices in. I do, however, like it a little thicker. So, you know, another thing you could do is cook it a little longer so some of the water will boil down, but either way, I give this a thumbs up. And if you like this video, hopefully you'll give it a thumbs up too. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live or post a new video. And leave a comment in the bottom. I'd love to hear from you. Have you made this before? What do you think of the way that I made it? And how would you change it? Let me know, everybody. Enjoy the day. Don't forget to eat your greens. Take care now. Bye-bye.